Buzzsaw Bloodhouse is definitely one of the most disturbing puppet combo games available at the moment, so being the sick puppet combo fan that I am, I decided to delve deep into the game and wanted to see what it had to offer. To be honest, this video will be fairly short because this game is still in development and there isn't much there, but I just couldn't wait to get my hands on the new 0.4 update, so here we are. Now it's time for my favorite part of all these videos, the breakdown. This game is designed like an arcade game, which definitely has its ups and downs. The upside to this design is that it makes the player fear that if they die too many times, they will have to start at the very beginning again. And the downside is that this is very annoying when you're shit at the game like me and you have to play the game over and over again.
One time is funny, two times is fucking annoying, no?
A lot of arcade games like Dragon's Lair use the game design like this to suck up quarters in the 80s, but in this game, it's just used to piss you off. The basic lore behind this game is that a deep web community celebrates Halloween with a twisted Red Room livestream. Young girls are kidnapped and forced to navigate a house full of deadly traps for the viewer's entertainment. In older versions of this game, there's a lot of depraved pornography on the walls, and a crazed chainsaw-wielding maniac that will chase you for a short period of time. For that short period of time, you have to avoid being killed by the maniac, and if you survive the attack, then he will leave. As mentioned earlier, the levels are riddled with traps for the player to navigate. Everything from chainsaw rooms, conveyor belts, and parkour balancing puzzles. This game will make you feel sick to your stomach. It really makes you feel bad for the girls as you read the sick comments of the depraved viewers that are watching for their own entertainment. This game does a genuinely fantastic job at disturbing you down to your core. Something that adds to the difficulty of this game is the controls and camera placement. On keyboard and mouse, this gameplay is a little bit wonky and it's very similar to Murder House in a lot of ways. A lot of people, including me about 10 months ago, chalked this up to bad game design and made Puppet Combo games less playable. But in actuality, I have to give the big props to Puppet Combo for staying true to the OG tank controls. Even though games tend to be more fun when you can play them in first person like in Night Ripper, I fully understand why one would keep tank controls around now because of how much more difficult it is to maneuver around enemies. It gives you a feeling of running away from something in a nightmare, in the sense that it feels like a struggle to get away from possible danger. It's not like there is much of a plot to this game, but there is at least a backbone of a story here. Basically, there are a few girls walking home from school when they see a van slowly approaching them in the distance. One of the girls comments on how odd it is right before the van drives right towards them. A man with a distorted voice gets out of the car after hitting the girls and demands them to get into the van, and that is our intro to the game. You wake up in a weird bedroom with a fancy bed and teddy bear wallpaper. After finding a secret room behind the bed, you can escape this room and walk down a narrow hallway where you see some gross things on the wall. Here's where we meet our first trap room. This room is pretty simple because it's just a spike trap on the floor that you have to run and jump over. Once you get past that, you have to maneuver your way around 4 chainsaws sticking out of the wall. After that, you're greeted with some sort of maze, but when you take the right path, you will have to get past 3 circular saws sticking out of the walls. After you're done walking through some extra rooms with some readable items, there is a room filled with barbed wire and a moving platform that you will have to jump onto to get past the barbed wire. Then, when you're done with that room, there are some doorways with swinging chainsaws. This is where we experience our first maniac attack, where a crazed killer with a chainsaw chases you around for 15 seconds before disappearing. You then come across a spinning pole of chainsaws, which isn't too hard to dodge, but it's after walking up a few flights of stairs we're blessed with yet another maniac attack. After this, you're met with some sort of balancing act when you have to walk across narrow platforms while there are circular saws flying around. After this, there's another barbed wire room where the player will jump from platform to platform. Then you have to evade a room full of nail guns, and soon thereafter, you're dropped into your very own private maniac attack. It's here where we actually have one of the hardest puzzles in the game. In order to stop this maniac attack, you have to walk into spinning chainsaw poles that I mentioned earlier because there's a switch behind them. There are 4 switches in total, all while evading the maniac himself. When you finish this grueling task, you walk into the hallway that opens up and you die. That is quite literally it, folks. Thanks for coming out. All jokes aside, after you die, there's a black screen that pops up with a red text that says, "You are not an anomaly, you are a person." This kinda reminded me of the haunting messages at the end of the Power Drill Massacre games. And death and hell were cast into the lake of fire. This is the second death, Revelation 20:14. And in Night Watch it says, "And God shall wipe all tears from their eyes, and there shall be no more death, neither sorrow, nor crying, neither shall there be more pain, for the former things are passed away." Revelation 21:04. This kind of thing is the stuff that gives people chills at the end of a good game, and that's why Puppet Combo is so good at his job. In conclusion, this is a very good attempt at creating a Saw-styled PS1 game, and I'm glad it's gained recognition from most of Puppet Combo's fans. More importantly, I'm glad that Puppet Combo is putting more focus into their older and less talked about games, and bringing whole new life into these older titles. Before the video ends, I wanted to address my absence on this channel for the past 3 months. After working on videos constantly since nearly exactly 1 year ago, I must say I got burnt out. And I hated the fact that my videos were becoming less and less inspired, so even though I didn't want to leave you guys in the dark like I did, I'm coming back into this with the same energy I had when I first started. I have plenty of ideas for projects that I want to finish soon and even in the future. Some of these ideas stray away from my usual Scuffed review, but nonetheless, I'll try to make them as entertaining as I can. Another thing is the number of subscribers. We're 3/4 away from 1,000 subscribers and I can't thank you guys enough. Up until last year, I was stuck at a solid 36 subscribers, and I remember that number because of how long it stayed like that. But now I have the privilege of reading your guys' supporting comments, and that's what pushes me to keep making the videos I make. Anyways, thank you guys for watching this video, and if you want to see more like this one, then subscribe because there are many more on the way.